Hey guys, it's Nick from F150LEs.com. Today we've got our 3rd gen Super Duty here in the shop to show you how to install our 210 watt CREE XTE Paladin bars here on the top bumper as well as in the lower intake area. These things are extremely bright. They're definitely going to turn the night into day in front of you whenever you cut these things on. And you can control them with the upfitter switches inside the truck, which is how Adam is going to show us in the install today. You can even control them with our wireless option add-on kit. So they're an excellent upgrade to the truck. They're going to definitely provide a ton of light, whether you're on the trails or off-roading or wherever you're at. Plus, they give a great aesthetic look to the truck even when the lights aren't on. So Adam's going to show us how easy it is to install right now.
The first thing we need to do for this installation is mount this bracket to our bar. So what we're going to do is take this small bolt included with your kit, take a lock washer, then a washer, put it on top in that order, like so. And then we're going to take our bolt and put it through the top hole of this bracket. So once we do that, we're going to want the flat part of this bracket going under the bar. So we're going to go ahead and take our bolt and start threading it into the bar. And we only want to get it hand tight for now. So now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the other bracket on the other side of the bar, and we'll be good to go. Okay, now that we have both brackets on the bar, what we're going to need to do is put our bar on the front bumper of the truck and line the center of the bar up with the center of the truck. So we went ahead and did that. After that, we're going to take 2 pieces of electrical tape, painter's tape, whatever you have around the house, and we're going to outline the outside of this bracket here, along the back of it, and then also along the front. This is going to allow us to be able to locate our mounting hole in just a minute in our next step. So we went ahead and outlined this bracket. We're going to do the same thing for the other side, and then we'll get to the next step. All right, so we went ahead and drilled out our hole using a 5/16 size drill bit. And the way we did that is we took our bracket back off the bar, and then we lined it up where we made our outline with the tape. And so when you line it up with the outline of the tape, you take a Sharpie or a pencil, whatever you want to use to mark your hole. You mark your hole location right here, and then you pull away, and then go straight to drilling. So we're going to go ahead and do the same on the other side, and then we'll be good to go. All right, now that our hole is drilled, we went ahead and removed our tape. We're going to take the smaller bolt in the bar hardware, and we're going to put it into the innermost hole of this bracket. So once you've done that, you just push your bolt through the hole that we drilled, and take your lock washer, and your washer, and then your nut, and screw it onto this side, the back end of this, Get that down into place. So once we get that on, we're going to tighten it down, like so. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. Okay, so we went ahead and mounted the bracket to the bumper, and we only went a little hand tight. That way you have a little bit of play right here, just in case that you're having a hard time putting the bolt on. But we're going to take that same small bolt from earlier, put our lock washer on, then our washer. We're going to put it through the top hole, and then begin threading this bolt into place. We're just going to go ahead and tighten this one all the way down as much as possible, like so. And now that we have this tightened down as much as possible, we can go back behind and tighten down the bracket to the bumper as much as we possibly can too. That way this LED bar is really secure. Okay, now that we went ahead and mounted this bar, before we do any wiring, we're going to go ahead and show you how to mount the lower intake bar. That way we can do all the wiring at once. So to mount this bar, there's 2 size 18 bolts on the outside of your tow hook on each side of the truck. We're going to be removing the top one of these bolts using a size 18 socket. We're going to go ahead and start loosening that up. It will take a little bit of force to get this bolt out. And it's a pretty long bolt. So we're going to go ahead and remove this bolt, and then we'll remove the same one from the other side, and then we'll be ready to mount our bracket. All right, now that we have that bolt removed, we're going to take our size 13mm bolt that comes with our kit, and we're slide it into our bracket like so. And you're going to want to install this bracket with the bolt facing on the outside. So we're going to put this bolt directly into the hole that we just took the larger bolt out of. We have patent down below You probably will need a second set of hands to put on the washer, lock washer, the nut on the back. He's going to be doing that right now while I hold this into place. And we're just going to get this hand tight for now. That way when we get the bar on and we're working these bolts, we're not too constricted by this bar being too tight, or this bracket being too tight, excuse me. All right, so we got that hand tight now. We're going to do the same thing for the other side, and then we'll be ready to mount our bar. All right, now that we got our brackets mounted to the truck, we're going to take the small bolt that came with the bar hardware. We're going to put on our lock washer first, then the washer, and then we're going to line up these holes right here, and then start threading your bolt into place to hold that down. We're going to go ahead and just tighten this down using the included Allen wrench as tight as we can get it. Then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. All right, now that we got both bars mounted, we're going to take our connector from our lower bar and just run it back behind here. Your bumper, you'll see there's an opening that'll allow this to run down, and it'll come out from under the bumper of the truck. We're going to do the same thing for this upper bar. We're going to take our connector and we're going to run it in between your grill and your bumper like so. And same thing, you'll see an opening, and you'll just want to run this wire down until you see your connector coming out from the bottom of the truck. Then we'll run our harness from the engine bay down here to these connectors and be able to connect them together. So each of our bars are going to come with their own wiring harness. So to run these down to our other connections, there's a small hole located right here. We're going to throw a picture on the screen just so you guys can get a better understanding of where it is. We're going to go ahead and start running these wires down through that hole like so. And you're just going to want to run them down until you see them pop out underneath your bumper, just the same place where the connections from the bar were. So once we get those ran down to there, we're going to get under the bumper, connect both of those connections together. There's a lock ring on the wired harness part of the bar harness that you're going to take and just screw it into place to make sure you have a really good solid weatherproof connection. Next, we're going to be connecting our harnesses to the battery. We went ahead and did this. It's a really simple step. There are two 8mm size nuts on these terminals on the battery. You're just going to want to take a size 8mm socket and then just loosen these nuts up, and then you'll be able to slide your terminal rings over this spot. Then you're going to tighten the nut back down onto it, making sure that the metal from the terminal ring is still touching in between the metal on the terminal ring of the battery. And once you do that on both sides, we'll be ready to run the switch into the truck. Okay, now that we have the bar hooked up to the battery, what we're going to do is take this white connector here, and you're going to separate these pieces. And we're going to take our female end of the connector, and there is a rubber grommet located down in here. We'll put some pictures in for you so you can see it. So you're going to either reach in there with a long screwdriver and wedge in between the grommet and the truck and just push open a little opening. You can even, if you have a little bit smaller of arms or hands, you can even reach in there and just peel it back with your hand. And then we're going to run this in between the truck and the grommet, and just going to run as much as you can of the wire through there until you see it coming from the driver footwell inside the cab of the truck. Okay, so you can see the female end of this wiring harness came through the grommet into the footwell of the truck. So we're going to take the other end of our harness and just reconnect it right here. And then now we're going to be connecting to our upfitter switches to power this light bar, so we can flip on those upfitter switches that are already inside the Super Duty and turn the light bar on and off that way. So our wires for our upfitter switches are located right here. They may be located higher up. If that's the case, you may need to pull off on this trim piece. You can reach up in there and just pull them back down. We already went ahead and did that. So our first auxiliary switch, the color wire for that one is going to be yellow. So we're going to take our harness from the LED bar. We're going to take our quick splice connector that will come with your kit. Now this may be a little bit hard to see, but we're going to throw a card up in the top part of this video showing you how to use these quick splice connectors. Super simple. You're just going to slide both sides of the wire through each hole of the connector, and then you're going to take a pair of pliers. Once you get both sides wires inside those holes, take a pair of pliers, and just with some firm pressure, press down on this metal tab, and that'll splice these two wires together. Now once you've done that, you can close up your quick splice connector. You can go turn your truck on, check to make sure your light bar is working, If it's not working, you might not have gotten a good connection, so just retry your connection. But once you test it and everything's working and good, we're good to go. For the sake of time in this video, we went ahead and connected our second bar to the second switch that is on the auxiliary switches, and the color for that one is green with a brown trace in it. So we went ahead and connected both of these. All there's left to do is go back through and zip tie and clean up all of our wiring, and then now we're good to go.
Thanks, Adam. So as you can tell, these things are extremely bright. The camera cannot capture how bright these lights are, but they definitely transform pitch black dark into daytime. So we absolutely recommend these for your Super Duty, this 3rd gen 11 to 16 range. You can check them out at F150LEDs.com, where you'll find all of our custom built LED lighting products for your Super Duty or F150 truck. We truly appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you at F150LEDs.com soon. Thanks, guys.